What if I told you that your current safety record is a reflection of your safety expectations? Let me say that again because I had somebody tell this to me last week and it clicked. Your current safety record is a reflection of your current safety expectations. And if you raise your expectations, then your record is going to improve. In this episode, I want to talk about 7 specific things that you can do that will improve safety in your workplace. Let's dive in. Well, hey friend, David Sawyer here. I'm a safety coach. Today, we're going to be talking about 7 rules that you can put in place at your company that will make for a safer workplace. Now, I say the word rules. I know not everybody likes rules. And I'll tell you something else that I heard the other day that somebody really kind of, they just had this physical reaction to it. And it's the word, when it comes to management, zero tolerance. And specifically, we were talking about what in safety should we have zero tolerance for. Now, if you punch that in your Google machine, zero tolerance means you're going to be terminated if you do it. So some companies say, hey, if you do this, you're out of here, right? There's no forgiveness. There's no second chances. Boom, you're gone. That's what it means to have zero tolerance. Now, I've heard some people bend it a little bit and they say zero tolerance is you're going to be suspended. Well, again, whatever it is, it's a harsh discipline. And a harsh discipline is usually reserved for something that's a big deal. So I want to talk about 7 rules that you need to have high expectations for. Now, the very first rule, and these are in no particular order. This is just from my experience working with different companies in different industries. And I've found these 7 things really go across the board. They need to be done everywhere. Now, I'm not saying you have to have zero tolerance and terminate people for it, but I definitely see where this is sometimes the case. So think about your company. Think about the people that work with you. Think about your maintenance team. Think about your managers. Think about your culture. And as we go through these different rules, I want you to specifically visualize the people that would be impacted by this. And what's the consequences if we don't have this rule in place, if somebody breaks it? So the very first one, immediate reporting. Immediate reporting. Now, usually when I put together an orientation program for a company, one of the first things that we talk about is how do you report an accident? And typically the line of, the line of thinking is, well, if you report an accident, you need to report it to your immediate supervisor and you have to do it immediately. You need to let somebody know if you got hurt. Now, I have a whole training that goes around this, but the number one reason we want people to tell us when they get hurt is so we can take care of them, so we can get them medical care and make sure they're taken care of the right way. We don't want anybody hiding it. And we also want to know what happens so that we can prevent it from happening to somebody else and we can prevent it in the future. So immediate reporting is required when somebody gets hurt. It also needs to be required when there's an incident, when there's property damage, when there's something that gets messed up. When there's a near miss, somebody almost got hurt. I don't have to tell you, so many times there's near misses that lead up to catastrophic accidents. So we want to do what we can to report near misses, to document incidents, to document accidents. And the reason for this, number one, we want to take care of people. And number two, we want to prevent it from happening again. We want to find out what caused it so that we can fix it. Now, immediate reporting requires you, to have a form, to have a method, to have a way to do it. And so you need to make sure you have a system in place where people can report an accident. We're in the age of the cell phone. So I've seen lots of companies that have a little QR code where you scan this QR code on the first aid cabinet and then boom, you're able to pull up the accident reporting form, and you can report the accident if it's a minor nick or cut or something small. And then obviously you got bigger things. I will caution you, you want people to report accidents immediately, but you don't want people to report accidents, before somebody's taken care of. The hierarchy is you take care of the person first, then we report it. And sometimes those are done in tandem if you have to get an accident responder to get somebody to help. So make sure we have a system for immediate reporting. That's the first one. The second one that we've got on the list, this is, again, rules that need to have top of mind when it comes to safety. Lockout, tagout. Lockout, tagout. So if somebody's going to get seriously hurt or even killed on the job, usually it's something dealing with lockout, tagout. It's dealing with a fall, or it's dealing with confined space. And so around the area of lockout, tagout, we want to make sure that we have a system in place so that people do it every time. So that people have locks, people have tags, people have been trained, people know the procedures, they know the machine-specific procedures. And so this is kind of a big mess of safety procedures and policies and rules, training. But what I want to get across to you in the video is really, we want to make sure that we have communicated our expectation is we do lockout, tagout anytime it's required. So you're going to get questions that come up. Well, do I have to do lockout, tagout for this machine? Do I have to do lockout, tagout for that machine? And I would encourage you, listen, and then we can get involved and we can say, this is when you do lockout. This is when you don't do lockout. Here's the tools for doing lockout, and it needs to be communicated. When you think you've communicated it too much, do it one more time. So lockout, tagout, that's the second one. That's the second rule you want to have in place to where you do it every single time. The third one that we've got is dealing with forklifts. Now, when it comes to forklifts, you should never lift up anybody on the forks. This is something I've seen where companies put zero tolerance in place. We're never going to lift anybody up on a pallet. We're never going to have somebody up in a basket if they haven't been trained and are wearing a harness and they're using the right tools for the job. We're never going to rush to get somebody up in the air on the forks. This tends to happen on the weekends, on the holiday schedule, when something breaks, it needs to get fixed, and they grab the forklift, lift me up, we'll fix it. This cannot be allowed to happen. Where I used to work as a safety manager, I had it set up that if you did this, both the forklift operator and the person on the pallet got fired. I didn't want to fire anybody, but the potential that could happen if you do this is somebody's going to get killed. And if nobody gets hurt, you've set a precedent that this is how we handle things. It's completely unacceptable. So even though it doesn't look unsafe, it is. It's extremely unsafe. It should not be allowed. And every forklift operator should be trained this in their certification class. Don't do this no matter what. And every person working on the floor should get an awareness level training to where they know, hey, if I'm going up in the air to do anything, I'm going to do it the right way. I'm going to have a ladder. I'm going to have a platform. I'm going to have a scissor lift. I'm going to be trained. I'm doing it the right way. So number 3, never lift up people on a forklift. Number 4, the fourth rule to make for a safer workplace: have consistent safety meetings. Consistent safety meetings. Now, when I work with clients, a lot of my clients do weekly safety talks. Sometimes they're referred to as toolbox talks. These work great for keeping safety top of mind. I have some clients that do it once a month, but the key is consistency. Consistency. Because listen, if you're working with a person and you're talking about safety once a week, at least once a week, you're planting seeds that this is the kind of culture we want to have at this company. And on top of that, it opens communication. So when somebody sees something unsafe, they can go, oh yeah, I'm going to bring that up in the meeting. I'm going to talk about that in the meeting. It opens communication. It opens dialogue. It brings up areas where we can fix a problem before someone gets hurt. So consistent safety meetings are not just about checking a box, getting somebody in front of a computer and have them click the mouse or click the little clicker to check the box on the roster. No, the purpose of safety meetings is communication. We're talking about raising expectations. The things we're discussing are not hard. Your managers, your supervisors, they gotta have consistent safety meetings. It shouldn't all be coming from you. It shouldn't all be coming from you. It should be coming across the whole company where people are taking ownership over safety, and consistent meetings show that we care about it, because things always come up. Every one of us is busy. And when we're busy, oftentimes the things that aren't huge priorities tend to drop off. Don't let safety be one of those things. Don't let safety drop off. Keep it top of mind. Raise the expectation. All right, number 5. This is something we can all do. Hopefully you do this without even thinking about it. You got to keep all the exit doors clear. Exit doors need to be clear. There should be no junk in front of it. There should be no pallets in front of it. There should be no hose in front of it. There shouldn't be a drop cord in front of it. Your exit doors have to be clear. And what I see when I go into a mock OSHA audit is I'll see companies where the primary exit is kept clear because that's where people are normally walking. But the side exit doors and the back exit door, they get kind of cluttered up, because let's face it, when we get busy, we take all the junk that we have in the room and we push it to the corners and we push it to the places we don't normally walk. Therefore, it tends to get pushed in front of the exit door. So we want to make sure that those exit doors are kept clear. Now, one thing you can do, and this will help, it's not perfect, it's not magic, but it will help, is if you mark your exit doors with some bright yellow tape or even some paint. That way you can show people, hey, we got to keep not just the doors kept clear, right? But there's a walkway to the door. So OSHA calls that egress paths. You got to have an egress to get out of the work area. Little side note, I love going to Starbucks when I'm on the road. I'll go in and get a cup of coffee and, kind of get a little break from driving, because lots of times I'm on the road driving. And there's one Starbucks in particular, and you know who you are, that has the exit always blocked. There's a short little hallway that goes past the bathrooms to the exit, and they always got stuff stacked in front of that exit door. And it just, it wears me out. Now, the front door is wide open, right? Everybody's using the front door. Why do we need a back door? I can remember I spoke to the manager. I said, I don't want to be that person. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I'm a safety guy, and I noticed your door is completely blocked over there. And the person completely blew me off and was like, oh, it's always like that. On Tuesdays, we get our shipment in. That's where we put our shipment. Don't let that happen to you. Don't let your exit door become the place where we stick new material or new product or things that we're going to be using later in the day. It needs to be kept clear. So egress, exits, keep them clear. Also, one more tip, open them up every now and then. Make sure the door isn't stuck, right? Make sure it doesn't just go and it got painted shut. So check to make sure there's nothing blocking the outside. They didn't build a fence around the outside of the building, so now you can't even get out through that door. So check on that as well. All right, number 6 for rules to help make a safer workplace. This one should go without saying, but I'm telling you, I see it when it doesn't happen. No one works alone. No one works alone. And what I mean by this is on the weekends, on the holidays, if you have anybody come in to do any work, there needs to be 2 people in the facility at all times. There should never be a case where you have a maintenance guy that comes in just to clean up or to get ready for the next day. You should always have 2 bodies at the facility at all times. A minimum of 2. But you don't want to have anybody on site with no one there. Something can go wrong. We want to make sure that we got somebody to help out in the event that somebody has a heart attack, somebody slips, somebody falls, somebody gets hurt. Whatever happens, we want to have 2 people at a minimum on site at all times. And the 7th one, this is really kind of the big one, and I'm going to let it kind of set with you so you can think about it. But stop unsafe situations. Stop unsafe situations. The way that I usually describe this is if you are doing a task and you feel like, if my mom came in right now, she would just smack me in the back of the head because I should know better. I should know better. This is stupid. I'm going to get hurt. And usually it happens when people are in a hurry and they don't even think about it. But if you think, if it clicks and you're like, "Oh, this is a bad idea," stop. There's a lot of psychology that goes through this. Workers don't want to stop if their boss tells them to keep going. They will make really bad decisions if their supervisor says, "Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going." It's something in human nature. So as a manager, as a leader, if you notice that a situation is unsafe, stop the activity immediately. It's not worth it. There's nothing in your company worth you getting killed over. There's nothing in your company worth somebody else getting seriously hurt or killed over. And what happens is we go, "Well, that's not going to happen to me." It can happen to you. So make sure you stop. Have a culture where anybody feels uncomfortable, they don't have to do it. In fact, if you feel uncomfortable, we're going to stop it. We're going to have a meeting. We're going to figure out a safer way to do it. That might mean renting a piece of equipment to do it better. It might mean hiring in a contractor to do it better. It might mean a variety of things. But we are not going to do unsafe behavior. It's just not part of who we are as a business. And that needs to be ingrained in you. And as a safety manager, you know what I'm talking about. You have that responsibility where it's on your shoulders. Everybody's responsible for safety, but you're the one looking out for it. So make sure if you see something unsafe happening, tell somebody, stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. Reassess, make it safer, and fix it. So real quick, I want to run through these one more time just to make sure I didn't forget to tell you something. The first one is immediate reporting. All accidents need to be reported to their immediate supervisor. And you, as a safety person, as a manager, as a person responsible, you got to have a method to do this. Number 2, lockout, tagout every single time. Number 3, forklift. We are never going to lift anybody up on the forks for any reason. Number 5, we're having consistent safety meetings to open the dialogue and talk about safety. Number 6, our exits and egress paths are clear. Number 7, no one works alone. That needs to be in the policy, in the handbook, posted on the wall somewhere in maintenance. We are not letting anybody in here by themselves. And the last one, probably the most important one, stop unsafe situations. That one alone will prevent a whole lot of accidents. Now, with that being said, if you have ever had an OSHA audit or you want to know more about how to handle and how to prepare for an OSHA audit, you need to check out my free OSHA audit checklist. You can go to my website, helpwithosha.com. You can download a free checklist for how to handle an OSHA audit. In there, you can also link and access an online course that I created to help busy managers prepare their company for OSHA visits. If you've already had an OSHA visit, this course will also help you unpack and make sure that you do everything you need to do to negotiate the fines, to have the conference with OSHA, to communicate with your employees. It is a great resource. If you need any questions or have any questions about OSHA audits, I highly encourage you to check it out. And until we talk again, do everything you can to keep the people you work with safe, because no one should get hurt at work.